Okay, good to see everybody. We were inside today. I hate to say I'm getting a little soft, but when you have 15 practices, we want to make sure we have a chance to really utilize the practices that we do have. Sean really threw the ball well today, as also Levi. And of course, as you guys know, we've got to improve our passing game. Do think we've got some weapons, Isaiah Nair and DJ Jennings and Trayden Welsh and Parker Christensen. I think really possess some excellent skills as far as catching the ball and doing something with it. Good energy over on defense. Thought Cole Goodbout's doing some things. We were able to get through today. Chad Muma continues to be really impressive. He's carrying about 240 pounds. We certainly need all these spring practices, though. I've talked to a couple of my colleagues around the country. They've been shut down. They haven't been able to make through some of their spring practices. So we've got to stay COVID-free. We're encouraging our players to vaccinate. We're getting a good portion that are able to do that. Able to get through today. I think Emmanuel Pregnon might have been the only guy, and that's a slight high ankle sprain. So in full pads, we're well pleased with that. So that's an opening statement. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Tracy, you're up.
The quarterback situation too. Are both quarterbacks healthier and throwing better? And what was the exact cause of our problems for Levi?
I think a lot of it, Tracy, people don't know it. I mean, we were down to really one quarterback last year, and he had it wasn't a shoulder separation, but it was certainly some significant irritation in there. I don't know if there was some loose matter that was floating around on his throwing shoulder. And a lot of times he wasn't able to lift his arm above 90 degrees until like Wednesday. And so as a result of that, his delivery began to change. He certainly can improve. And I know Coach Polisek's working on his footwork right now to get his feet aligned up, but he started to have almost like I don't want to say a Sandy Koufax release. I think there's probably maybe the only two people on this call that know who Sandy Koufax is you and me. Our passing tree, we really had to scale some things back, and we were really way off. And what that forced us to do, Tracy, was become way 1-2-dimensional. When you're completing the ball right around 46%, it's hard to have a lot of confidence in your passing game. But Levi's much better. Sean is much better. And like I said, I think we've got some weapons. There's some pinpointed questions. So hopefully that gives you some answer, Tracy, between, his functionality, he had some flaws, and then it was a really rough deal on him with that shoulder.
Because I know a lot of people.
Mike, go ahead, Tracy.
Because I know a lot of people publicly have questioned whether his abilities as a quarterback, and I started thinking, I thought I'd heard he had a bad arm, that could have affected him a little bit.
It certainly did, and we didn't have much behind him. And, if anybody questions his ability, I don't know, go down to Tucson and see what he did in the Arizona Bowl. Thought he threw pretty doggone well. A lot of people were excited about him, and I was as well. But he's got to bounce back in his step. Tim's done a good job straightening some things out. Not to say that Coach Vegan wouldn't have, but it's just another year of maturity with those guys. Michael, you're up next.
Greg, I'm not sure if you heard, but there was an arrest made in the murder of Tony Evans this afternoon. I was just curious if you had any thoughts on that situation.
We knew, talking to Tony Sr., they felt like they had some leads right from, that tragic night and that next morning. And so we're encouraged about that. Obviously, everybody's do their due date in court, but, a tragic event. Coach Grant and I are going to be traveling to Dallas over the weekend to attend some services. We'll talk to Tony Sr. then. But really a tragic event. I'm glad that there's beginning to have some closure and moving forward. And Tony Sr., a lot of people don't know this, is in law enforcement also. So I was aware of that. We were kind of kept abreast of that as the situation unfolded. Davis.
Greg, I heard you mention the other day that Latrell had moved back inside on the offensive line. Is that just because you have all your tackles back this spring?
Yeah, it really is. Last year, we did not have Alonzo Velasquez, and Frank had stepped in. Rudy's doing a good job there, but we've just got more depth, and really Latrell. His best position, he's more of an inside player. A lot of people on the outside, what's the difference between a guard and tackle? Well, there's some significant differences. So he's playing both center and guard, and we're really excited about what he's doing. And, we're excited about what we're able to do on the flanks right now.
So is Rudy running with the ones at left tackle? Is he back there?
We're rotating guys. So, yes, he is. You know what? We've got Alonzo, Frank Crum, Rudy's all working in there. Yes, Michael.
I'm not sure if it's been ratified yet, but the NCAA is more than likely going to do its one-time transfer exception. Mm-hmm. I know that's been it's a hot topic among college coaches. I was wondering what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah, this is something that we've talked about for the last couple of years, and I knew it was coming. Particularly wasn't fond of it. Very few coaches are, but we'll adjust without question. What I've heard they're going to do is open up a notification date. The NCAA has received a significant amount of criticism with the waiver process, and I think the presidential council looked at and said, okay, what's in the best interest of the student athlete? These are the rules. We, as a as a program, excuse me, we've not had a lot of guys that have placed their name in the transfer portal. That doesn't mean that we won't have some guys in the future, but we had a long staff meeting today to address, what our long-term strategy is going to be. And, the NCAA's made that decision. We'll roll with it. I don't think it's necessarily a great decision, but, those are the rules, and we will adapt here at Wyoming. Davis.
Craig, there's this belief on this rule that basically the group of five can become like a minor league system almost for the Power Five conferences. Do you worry about, Power Five programs poaching players that way?
Well, a couple things, and I'm going to give somewhat of a long answer here. First of all, the transfers go both ways. I sit on the oversight committee with the AD at Alabama, and they had their backup quarterback ended up starting at Arkansas State. There's always going to be some type of movements. What our hopes is that our players recognize that they can accomplish everything they want to at the University of Wyoming. They're going to be able to get a meaningful degree from a great flagship university. They're going to have an opportunity to play in a great conference, the Mountain West Conference. And then along with that, some guys have the aspiration to play in the NFL. And what a lot of people don't realize, Davis, last year we had 14 players on the opening day active roster. And that's more than half the Big 12, and that's more than half the Pac-12 schools. And so guys have an opportunity to be found, have an opportunity to have their skills in the NFL. We're a developmental program, and they have a chance to get a great degree. And so whether some guys are being looked at other schools, we can't control that. Our whole deal is we're going to be open and honest and transparent on what kind of guy we want at the University of Wyoming, have a program that can develop them, they can get a meaningful degree and have a chance to really play on some great teams, and then hopefully some of them play in the NFL. So, we're going to let the chips fall where they may. Yes, Davis.
Hey, Craig, in terms of COVID testing now, how frequently are you guys doing that? And if you have vaccinations, do you still have to be tested? Is everybody being tested? How's that working?
Yeah, currently right now, whether like I'm vaccinated and past that 2-week date, but we're testing twice a week. We get the results back right away. How long that goes, I don't know. I know the university as a whole is looking at a lot of things. I know the Mountain West is as well. So that's where we're at. We've had 2 players who've tested positive over the last couple of weeks. I know that the rates have spiked in Albany County, but right now we're doing a good job staying pretty COVID free.